Before jumping into this next segment on page layouts, I would highly suggest everybody check the unit of their current base plan. Let's do that right now. We're going to type units, U-N-I-T-S. We're going to hit enter, and we can see here that the units that we're currently in are meters. I realize that these are the units that we would have been working in because that's what the D2L file that we all downloaded and put together are, but just keep these units in mind as we complete this next section. Now, because your Goodstreets project is going to involve a site visit, today's the day that we're going to take a look at doing page setup in Layout or in Paperspace. Now, Paperspace or Layout is essentially this tab that is reachable from right over here. We're currently working in Model Space, but Paperspace is what we're going to spend a little bit more time talking about today. Now, when you're in Model Space, everything is drawn at the scale of 1:1. You choose the dimension. It's when it's imported or a viewport is created in Paperspace that an actually scaled version of the drawing is being created. Now let's take a look at Layout View for a moment. That's the tab we're in currently. So right now, we don't know the size of the layout page that we're working with, and we're going to fix that. So let's start doing our page setup right now. Here's how we're going to do it. While you're in Paperspace, like you are right now, you're going to move up to the top of the screen and find the Layout tab, located right here. You're going to left click, and you're going to move over to the left to Page Setup. You're going to left click Page Setup, and you've got Layout 1 automatically selected. Perfect. So now we're going to go over to Modify and left click that. Once you're in Page Setup, the first thing you want to look at is your printer or plotter. Now, depending on where you're working, whether you're at the school or whether you're in an office that already has a bunch of the stuff for AutoCAD all set up, when you go to your drop-down menu for printer and plotter, there might be a bunch of real printers on here. Now, in this case, I don't have anything like that set up, so I'm just going to have us set it to DWG, to PDF. Let's left-click. Perfect. Now it's time for us to actually select our paper size for this paper space that we're creating. Now, in my case, I know that we are probably going to have a deliverable at some point in this project that's going to be to ArcD size, which is 36 inches by 24 inches. So just for the sake of demonstration, that's what we're going to pick from this list of paper sizes here. And as you can see, when you drop it down, AutoCAD has quite a robust series of options for different paper sizes you can pick. So in my case, I want to go down to 36 inches across by 24 inches high, and that's what ArcD is. So we're going to pick that one right here, 24 by 36. Oh, sorry, 36 by 24. My apologies. We're going to left click. Perfect. Now moving down to plot area, that really just means whatever is inside this area is all going to get plotted if it's currently set to layout. So because this is going to now plot everything that's inside of the layout that we're creating, layout is what we want to have that set to. Perfect. Now at this stage of the project, we want to make sure that when we go to plot scale, we're going to go to the drop down here for scale, and we want to have 1:1 selected for our plot scale. There it is on the drop down list. Now here's a really important step too. This whole drawing that we're currently working in is set in meters. So naturally there's going to create some confusion if we have this set in inches for the plot scale. So we're going to go to the drop down menu here, left click, and we're going to set that to millimeters. We're also going to make sure that the current scale is set to 1 millimeter, being equal to 1 unit of drawing. So we're going to remove all this, and we're going to set this to 1. So now it's 1 millimeter to 1 unit. Perfect. Now let's take a look at plot styles. Plot styles are really just the quality at which AutoCAD will produce this drawing for you. So let's take a look through the options that we have. Let's go to the drop-down menu, left click. ACAD LT is essentially a plot style that'll give you color in your lines. Fill patterns will really just produce hatches that have fills of different colors. Grayscale is largely black and white, as was monochrome, even though it will produce some grays. Then screening, the various screening options will really just give you different levels of transparency. But for now, let's try putting it on ACAD LT. Left click that, so that option is selected. We also do want to have display plot styles selected and checked, so that's good. That's what we want. And we also want to see that plotting with plot styles is selected too. So if your screen looks something like this, you should be ready to hit OK. Let's hit it. Now that's going to essentially produce a new layout, and there you have it. You've now set up a page layout in Paperspace that is to your specific specifications.